Hello, kids. Unfortunately, Mr. Rogers couldn't be here with you today because he's dead. His body's probably decomposing slowly. Perhaps maggots are in his body, and since we're all quarantined, it's time for a quarantined day in the neighborhood. Does being told that you're not an essential business have you down? Does it blow your mind that liquor stores are deemed essential? Does it blow your mind that golf courses have been deemed essential? Did learning that marijuana dispensaries are essential make you want to gouge out your eyeballs with a spoon? Did you feel like you lost your soul when you found out that abortion clinics are still deemed essential and haircuts are not? Does the mere thought of being quarantined make you feel as though you've been castrated without anesthesia? Well, you're not alone. Take it away, Bob.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a neighborly day in this beauty wood, a neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine?
Except you can't go outside.
Would you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you.
But I can't get near you.
Always wanted to live
in a quarantine neighborhood with you. So pass the alcohol and pass the blunts. Then we'll go to the abortion clinics right before lunch.
Would you
Would
be
you
mine?
mind? Would you be mine? Won't you be my essential neighbor?
Won't you please? Won't you
Would you
please?
please?
Please
Won't you be my essential neighbor? All right, Johnny, since we've been trapped in this house together for the last 2 weeks and I can't take you to the park or to a bowling alley and I can't go to church, I went to see my doctor. I've been having some anxiety. He told me that marijuana was what I should, consider. And because I've never smoked marijuana before, I thought surely it's not essential. And he pointed out to me, no, it is essential. And so I brought home some blunts, and I thought we could roll some blunts together. It was a good family bonding time. Could you show me how?
Oh, yeah, I sure could.
What a good guy you are. What are you doing over there?
You take a bit and I'll take a bit.
Sounds fair.
Here you are.
Wow, Johnny, you're a pro.
And then fold this in here.
How long have you had your marijuana card? Your stepmother told me you were battling anxiety. Wow, you're a pro. And I know many of you trapped in your homes have busy days planned. You don't have time to sit around and listen to what Johnny and I did for the rest of the day, but I'll just give you the highlights. I escaped the quarantine home for a moment and went to the liquor store so I could stock up on essential supplies, if you know what I mean, right? I mean, essential. They had a great deal going right now on Johnny Walker. It was unbelievable. I was able to have a few sips, and I stumbled on over to the golf course, where I whacked a few golf balls, and then I still had time to make it by the abortion clinic before lunch to check on the status of the upcoming abortion I had time to schedule with my latest lover, Trixie. Meanwhile, evil capitalist pigs like my evil and ignorant half-brother, Clay Clark, they're out there trying to run their businesses without understanding the importance of this quarantine and the importance of shutting down all non-essential businesses. In fact, he was on the news recently, and listen to what this jackwagon had to say. Here, let me cue up the clip of Clay on the news. Here it is.
While they're confident their customer base will come back and they're understanding about the business shutdown, things are a bit different at Elephant in the Room.
Our leadership has decided that you can still buy pot today and alcohol. So I don't understand why haircuts are non-essential, but pot and alcohol are.
Owner Clayton Clark says he's very concerned about the effect the shutdown will have on his stylists.
It's sad because we have a lot of single moms who work for us. We want to provide jobs, and unfortunately we can't do that. And so we're just hoping and praying that April 15th date that the president's talked about, or April 12th, will be a new opening date.
Until they reopen, Daisy Harrow is on the edge of her seat.
We're talking about what's essential, what's non-essential. For me, it's essential that I have a job. It's essential that I have food to eat. It's essential that I am able to feed my son and pay my bills and not get my house foreclosed on. And it's terrifying to me.
Steve Currington was too late to get his haircut today, but stuck around to give us his take on the non-essential shutdown.
Who gets to pick and choose that? You know, like, you get to go bankrupt. You get to get foreclosed on your house. You get to, not be able to feed your kids because of the industry that you work in, and it's just a little odd.
As for those sort of controversial, essential businesses that are staying open, that Clayton mentioned, on the marijuana front, you got to remember in Oklahoma, medical marijuana is medical. It's not recreational. That may be why those are considered essential. As for liquor stores, well, the state's not come out directly and said why they're keeping those open. Other states have said they're basically trying to not induce severe withdrawal symptoms in people that are struggling with alcoholism. Reporting live in Brookside, Tyler Butler, Tulsa's Channel 8.
How could anybody not understand the logic of shutting down all businesses except for the essential businesses? How could anybody possibly not understand the importance of letting government pick and choose what's essential and what's not? I mean, think about it, folks. I mean, how could you possibly advocate shutting down liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries and golf courses and abortion clinics? I mean, just think about it. I mean, how could you possibly be against shutting down every other business? I mean, what kind of person would want to be in business right now at a time like this? I mean, think about this. The initial report that was put out by Neil Ferguson, this gentleman, Neil Ferguson, the United Kingdom scientist, it reported that close to 2.2 million people were at risk of losing their lives, which comes out to 0.006% of the population. I mean, why would you not want to ruin everybody's business and ruin everybody's lives to potentially save 0.006% of America? I mean, listen to this news clip from Dr. Deborah Birx, the lady leading the health initiative to kill this terrible coronavirus. Listen to her. I mean, doesn't she make a lot of sense? Listen to the words coming out of her mouth. Let me cue it up here. Let me go ahead and hit play. Let me find the clip here. This she makes so much sense to me. Listen
really
to
quite important. If you
Okay,
remember, that was the report that said there would
Yes.
be 500,000 deaths in the UK.
Oh, yes.
And 2.2 million deaths
Let
in
me
the
go
United
back a little
Really
farther.
quite important. If
Okay.
you remember, that was the report that said there would be 500,000.
Let's go back
You
some
saw
more.
the
Here we
recent
go.
report out of the UK.
Yes, I did.
About them adjusting completely their needs. This is really quite important. If you remember, that was the report that said there would be 500,000 deaths in the UK.
I remember that report,
And 2.2 million deaths in the United States. They've adjusted that number in the UK to 20,000.
Whoa.
So 500,000 to 20,000. We're looking into this in great detail.
Now, I'm not a super genius, but if they initially reported that about 2.2 million people could die, and now they're down to 1/25th of that prediction. I mean, if they originally predicted that 500,000 British people would die, and now they're down to 20,000, it would seem as though the government is 25 times off. Oh, no. Well, let's see what the governor of New York has to say. He just held a press conference. Let's listen to Governor Cuomo. Maybe he makes more sense as to why I've been quarantined these last couple of weeks. Here we go. Let me cue this
I
up.
think the smartest way forward is a modified public health strategy that dovetails and complements a get back to work strategy, right? What we did was we closed everything down.
That's right. That's what you did, yeah.
That was our public health strategy.
True.
Just close everything. All businesses, all workers, young people, old people, short people, tall people, every school, close everything. If you rethought that or had time to analyze that public health strategy, I don't know that you would say quarantine everyone.
What?
I don't even know that was the best public health policy. Young people
What?
then quarantined with older people was probably not the best public health strategy because the younger people could have been exposing the older people to an infection.
You mean that I've been quarantined for 2 weeks, going only to liquor stores and marijuana dispensaries and golf courses and abortion clinics and grocery stores because of a mathematical error? And that maybe even a strategic error was made by the great Governor Cuomo? Oh no.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go!
Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, Yes, and yes. Thrive Nation, on today's show, I'm going to play audio clips from Governor Cuomo, the governor of New York, sharing his thoughts on the fact that he probably should not have quarantined the entire city and his thoughts about how he probably shouldn't have shut down the entire city for business. And I'm going to play audio clips from him. I'm going to play you audio clips from our leading physician, Dr. Deborah Birx, who once told you that 2.2 million American lives were at risk of dying and who's now dialed that number down to 150 to 200,000. Folks, this show is it's going to be so filled with audio clips that are going to really boggle your mind. I want you to get out a piece of paper and a notepad and take notes, because I need you to go watch these people speak, because it's even crazier when you see them speak this epic level of jackassery. I mean, jackassery is quite a thing when you hear it, but when you see the looks on their faces, it is truly worth the watch. Luke, thank you for joining us here on the Thrive Time Show. How are you, sir?
Oh, doing great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
Why are certain people put in prison? Well, what does somebody have to do to typically go to prison?
Well, break a law. Do something illegal.
They have to break a law, do something illegal to go to prison?
Well, I guess there's a certain level of laws that you have to break to justify going immediately to prison. But
as a general rule, people who are in prison have committed
a crime.
They've broken the law.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So as, again, we heard Governor Cuomo, the governor of New York, he has advocated shutting down the entire city and quarantining both old people with young people.
Right.
And he's come out and said that perhaps that wasn't the best strategy.
That was not the best strategy.
For the public health. Also, it wasn't the best strategy for the economy. And I think that when you hear Governor Cuomo and his response to, or his attempt to correct his initial recommendation to shut down the entire state of New York, you hear him stepping back from that and saying, perhaps we should go back to work. That, to me, would go down as one of the most epic oopses in the history of America. One of the most epic oops moments in American history. But I cannot make this up. I think the mayor of Houston now is in the running for having the biggest oops of all time. Are you ready? Are you ready for the sound clip of the mayor from Houston?
Oh my gosh, I guess I got to brace myself here.
Now, this is the mayor of Houston, okay? His name is Sylvester Turner. Sylvester Turner recently came out and said that he wants to release 1,000 inmates from the county jail amid the coronavirus.
What?
Apparently, he believes that we need to release the inmates in Houston. Again, according to the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, 99.2% of the people who have died from the coronavirus in Italy were elderly people with a compromised immune system.
Yep.
So somehow, Mayor Sylvester Turner believes it is a good idea. It is a good idea to release the prisoners.
Okay.
And I'm showing you this article here. I'm showing you, this is right here. This is real stuff. This is from the Texas Tribune. We have the mayor of Houston. He wants to release his inmates amidst the coronavirus.
He wants to take people who have been put in jail for breaking the law or committing a crime.
Yes.
And just release them.
Yes. As his response to the coronavirus.
Because he doesn't want them to get the coronavirus? What is his logic there?
Now, I want you to hear him. This is his press conference explaining. This is a press conference he held because he wants the prisoners who are being released to know something. Let me play the audio. This is Mayor Sylvester Turner, the Houston Democrat Mayor Sylvester Turner. This is his message for the criminals that he wants to release. Here we go.
Okay. Until the coronavirus is resolved, criminals take a break. Okay?
What?
Stay home.
Who is this idiot?
Stay home.
Oh
and don't commit any crimes.
And
that way, they'll stay safe and out of jail. And police officers will stay safe and can go home to their families. Okay? So everybody chill. Crooks, criminals, you chill.
And now, without any further ado, 3, 2, 1, boom!